She saw her billionaire ex in a wheelchair. Sitting alone at a party, her daughter moved closer and called him Daddy. The moment Emma walked into that glittering charity gala, she never expected her carefully guarded secret to unravel in front of hundreds of people. There he was, Alexander Hartwell, the billionaire she'd loved and left, sitting alone in his wheelchair while the party swirled around him. But when her 4-year-old daughter broke free and ran straight to him, calling out the one word Emma had forbidden her to say, everything changed. This is the story of a love that survived betrayal, a secret that couldn't stay hidden, and a little girl who brought her parents back together when they needed each other most. Before we dive into this emotional journey, I'd love to know where you're watching from. Drop your city in the comments below. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss our heartwarming love stories. Emma's hands trembled as she smoothed down her black cocktail dress one more time. The invitation to the Hartwell Foundation's annual charity gala had arrived 3 weeks ago, and she'd almost thrown it away. But her boss had insisted. Their small marketing firm needed the networking opportunities. "Mommy, you look like a princess." Lily bounced beside her, adorable in her pink tulle dress. "Thank you, sweetheart," Emma managed to smile, kneeling to fix Lily's hair bow. Those grey eyes, his eyes, stared back at her, full of innocent excitement. "Remember what we talked about? We're only staying for a little while, and you need to hold Mommy's hand the whole time." "I know," Lily nodded solemnly, "and I can't run around or touch the fancy things." Emma's heart clenched. If only keeping her daughter from her father was as simple as not touching fancy things. The Hartwell Hotel's ballroom took her breath away. Crystal chandeliers cast dancing lights across the crowd of Seattle's elite. Everywhere she looked, designer gowns and expensive suits mingled over champagne and small talk. "It's so pretty," Lily whispered, eyes wide. Emma gripped her daughter's hand tighter, scanning the room. Maybe he wouldn't be here. Maybe the CEO of Hartwell Industries had better things to do than attend his own charity gala. Maybe. Then she saw him. Alexander sat near the orchestra stage, his wheelchair positioned slightly apart from the crowd. Even from across the room, Emma could see the changes 5 years had wrought. His dark hair was shorter now, more professionally styled. His shoulders seemed broader, his presence more commanding despite the chair. But it was the solitude that struck her most, surrounded by hundreds of people who wanted his attention, yet utterly alone. "Mommy, why are you squeezing so tight?" Lily complained. Emma loosened her grip, forcing herself to breathe. "Sorry, baby. Let's go find our table." But as they moved through the crowd, Emma couldn't stop her eyes from drifting back to Alexander. He was watching the orchestra with that same intense focus she remembered, the one that used to make her feel like the only person in the world when he turned it on her. "Pretty music," Lily said, tugging on Emma's dress. "Can we go closer?" "No, sweetheart. We need to..." But Lily had already spotted something far more interesting than the orchestra. Her little body went rigid, her grey eyes widening with recognition and joy. "Daddy?" she whispered, then louder. "Daddy!" Before Emma could react, Lily had yanked her hand free and was running, not toward the orchestra, but toward the lone figure in the wheelchair. "Lily, no!" Emma's heart stopped, her feet frozen as her daughter weaved through the crowd with single-minded determination. The entire ballroom seemed to slow down as the little girl in pink tulle reached Alexander. Without hesitation, she threw her small arms around his neck, her voice carrying clear across the suddenly quiet space. "Daddy, I found you. Mommy said you were very far away, but you're here." Alexander's face, the face Emma had dreamed about for 5 years, transformed from polite detachment to absolute shock. His hands, those strong hands that used to hold her like she was precious, hovered uncertainly before slowly settling on Lily's small back. His voice, deeper now but still carrying that slight rasp, faltered completely. Emma forced her feet to move, her heels clicking against the marble floor like a countdown to disaster. Every eye in the ballroom had turned to watch the drama unfolding. "Lily," she managed when she reached them, her voice barely a whisper. "Sweetheart, this isn't..." "But it is." Lily pulled back from Alexander's neck, her face glowing with innocent joy. "It's Daddy. Look, Mommy, he has the same eyes as me. And the same hair. Just like in the picture." Alexander's gaze snapped to Emma's face, and she saw it all there. The recognition, the dawning understanding, the questions, the hurt. His eyes dropped to Lily, studying every feature with an intensity that made Emma's chest ache. "The picture?" he asked carefully, his voice controlled, but she heard the tremor underneath. "The one Mommy keeps in her special box," Lily explained, still perched against his chest as if she belonged there, which, Emma realized with a pang, she did. "She only shows me sometimes when I ask about my daddy. She said you had important work far away." "Lily!" Emma reached for her daughter, her hands shaking. "We need to go." "What's your name, sweetheart?" Alexander asked, his hands gentle but firm on Lily's waist, keeping her close. "Lily Emma Hartwell," Lily announced proudly. "Mommy said I have your last name 'cause you're my daddy, even if you couldn't be with us." The murmur that ran through the watching crowd was like a physical thing. Emma felt the weight of hundreds of eyes, the whispers already starting. Alexander Hartwell had a daughter, a secret child. The scandal would be everywhere by morning. "How old are you, Lily?" Alexander's voice was carefully neutral, but Emma saw his jaw clench, that telltale sign he was fighting for control. "4. I'll be 5 in March. Mommy says I'm getting big." 4 years. Emma watched him do the math, saw the moment understanding crashed over him like a wave. His eyes found hers again, and the pain in them nearly brought her to her knees. Why? The single word held 5 years of questions. "Alexander, please," Emma whispered. "Not here. Not like this." "Daddy, why are you in a chair?" Lily asked, patting his shoulder with innocent curiosity. "Did you hurt your legs?" Alexander's face softened as he looked at their daughter. Their daughter. "Yes, sweetheart. I hurt them in an accident a long time ago." "Does it hurt?" "Not anymore," he assured her. "The chair helps me get around, see?" He moved the wheelchair slightly, making Lily giggle as she swayed with the motion. "Cool. It's like a special car." Despite everything, Alexander smiled, that rare, genuine smile Emma remembered. Exactly like a special car. "Mr. Hartwell?" A woman in an elegant blue gown approached hesitantly. "The auction is about to begin. Should we—" "Cancel it," Alexander said without looking away from Lily. "Sir?" "Cancel the auction. Cancel everything. Tell them—" He paused, his eyes finding Emma's again. "Tell them I have more important matters to attend to." "But, sir, the donors—" "Will understand that family comes first." Alexander's tone brooked no argument. "Have Richard handle the closing remarks. I'm leaving." He turned back to Lily, his expression gentling. "Lily, would you like to see my office? It's upstairs and it has a really cool view of the city." "Can I, Mommy?" Lily bounced excitedly. "Please!" Emma felt trapped between her daughter's joy and the tsunami of consequences bearing down on them. "Alexander!" "We need to talk," he said quietly. "Away from all this. Please, Emma. You owe me that much." The please nearly undid her. Alexander Hartwell didn't beg. He commanded boardrooms and controlled billions. But here he was, asking for what should have been his by right, time with his daughter. "Okay," she whispered. The elevator ride to the top floor was silent except for Lily's excited chatter about everything she saw. She'd claimed Alexander's lap as if she'd been sitting there all her life, her small hands exploring the controls of his chair with delighted curiosity. "This button makes you go fast?" she asked. "That's right, but we only use it in safe places." "Like race cars?" "Exactly like race cars," Alexander agreed, his eyes meeting Emma's over Lily's head. The questions there made her look away. His office was exactly what she'd expected. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking Seattle's glittering skyline, expensive furniture, tasteful art. What she hadn't expected was the small seating area clearly designed for accessibility, or the way Alexander moved through the space with practiced ease. "Wow," Lily pressed her face against the windows. "We're so high. Mommy, look, The cars look like toys." "I see, baby," Emma said softly, wrapping her arms around herself. "There's juice in the mini-fridge," Alexander said, "and some cookies in the cabinet if she's hungry." The domesticity of it, him knowing what a child might need, made her throat tight. "Can I have juice, Mommy?" Lily asked hopefully. Emma nodded, watching as Alexander showed Lily where everything was, letting her pick her own juice box, treating her like she was precious and capable all at once. Her heart broke and mended and broke again, watching them together. "Lily," Alexander said, once she was settled with her juice and cookies, "I need to talk to Mommy about grown-up things. There's a tablet in that drawer with some games. Would you like to play while we talk?" "Okay." Lily accepted the tablet happily. "But then can you show me more cool stuff?" "Absolutely," Alexander promised. "We have lots of time." The words hung heavy with meaning as he wheeled over to where Emma stood by the windows, her reflection ghost-like in the glass. 5 years, he said quietly. "She's been alive for 5 years, and I didn't know." Emma's eyes burned with unshed tears. "I can explain." "Can you?" His voice was controlled, but she heard the storm underneath. "Can you explain why you left me? Why you disappeared without a word? Why you kept my daughter from me?" "You were in the hospital," Emma said, her voice breaking. "Fighting for your life. The doctors said you might never walk again, that you'd need months, maybe years of therapy. How could you make that choice for me?" Alexander interrupted. "How could you decide I wouldn't want to know about my child? If you're feeling the emotion of this moment, don't forget to hit that like button. Have you ever made a choice out of love that others didn't understand? Share your thoughts in the comments below." Emma turned to face him fully, tears streaming down her cheeks. "Because I loved you too much to watch you give up everything for us." "Give up?" Alexander laughed, harsh and broken. "Emma, I gave up everything when you left. The company, the money, the success, none of it meant anything without you." "You don't mean that." "Don't I?" He moved closer and she caught his familiar scent, expensive cologne mixed with something uniquely him. "I spent 2 years looking for you. 2 years, Emma. Private investigators, databases, every resource at my disposal. You vanished like smoke." "I had to," Emma whispered. "Your parents?" "My parents?" His eyes flashed. "What did they do?" Emma wrapped her arms tighter around herself. "Your mother came to see me while you were in surgery. She made it very clear that you had a destiny to fulfill, an empire to build, that a cocktail waitress who'd gotten herself pregnant would only drag you down. She had no right." "She was right," Emma burst out. "Look at you, Alexander. Look what you've accomplished. Hartwell Industries is worth billions. You've revolutionized adaptive technology. You've helped thousands of people. Would any of that have happened if you'd been playing house with me and a baby?" "Yes," he said simply. "It would have happened faster, because I would have had something real to fight for." The conviction in his voice stole her breath. "Daddy?" Lily looked up from her game. "Are you and Mommy fighting?" Alexander's expression softened instantly. "No, sweetheart. We're just talking about grown-up things." "Oh, okay." She went back to her game, but Emma noticed how she kept glancing at them, worry creasing her small forehead. "She's incredible," Alexander said softly, watching their daughter. "Smart, confident, kind. You did an amazing job, Emma." "Don't," Emma pleaded. "Don't be nice to me. I don't deserve it." "What you deserve and what I feel are two different things," Alexander said quietly. "I'm furious, I'm hurt, I'm broken by what you took from me. But I also—" He stopped, running a hand through his hair in a gesture achingly familiar. "I never stopped loving you. Even when I hated you for leaving, I loved you." The words hung between them, raw and honest. Emma felt her carefully constructed walls crumbling. "I told her about you," she admitted. "Not everything, but stories. About how smart you were, how kind, how you used to make me laugh. I showed her pictures when she asked why other kids had daddies and she didn't. But you told her I was far away. What else could I say? That I was a coward who ran away because I was scared. that I chose fear over love. You were 22, Alexander said softly, pregnant, alone and terrified. I don't forgive you, Emma, not yet, maybe not ever. But I understand fear. I watched the news, Emma confessed. Every article about Hartwell Industries, every innovation, every success. And I told myself I'd made the right choice, that you were better off without us. Every success felt empty, Alexander said simply. Every achievement hollow, because the only person I wanted to share it with was gone. Mommy? Lily had abandoned her game and come over to them. Why are you crying? Emma quickly wiped her cheeks. Happy tears, baby. Lily looked skeptical, then turned to Alexander. When Mommy cries, I give her hugs. It makes her feel better. That's very smart, Alexander said seriously. Do you need a hug too? Lily asked, studying him with those two perceptive eyes. You look sad, Alexander's voice caught. I would love a hug. Lily climbed carefully onto his lap, wrapping her small arms around his neck. Over her head, Alexander's eyes met Emma's, and she saw everything there. Pain, love, hope, fear, determination. I want to be her father, he said quietly. Not just biologically, but really be her father. I want bedtime stories and birthday parties and teaching her to ride a bike. Alexander. I want it all, Emma. Everything I missed. First words, first steps, first day of school. I can't get those back, but I want every moment from now on. What about us? The question slipped out before she could stop it. Alexander's hand found hers, and the familiar warmth of his touch made her heart race. I told you I never stopped loving you. But trust? That's going to take time. I know, Emma whispered. I know I broke us. I want to fix it, if you'll let me try. Daddy. Lily's voice was sleepy now, her head resting against Alexander's chest. Are you coming home with us? Alexander looked at Emma, a question in his eyes. We have a small apartment, Emma said quickly. Nothing like this. Lily shares my room and the heating is temperamental and… I don't care, Alexander interrupted. If that's where you are, where she is, then that's home. You can meet Mr. Bunny, Lily mumbled, fighting sleep. He's my best friend, after Mommy, but now you can be my best friend too. Alexander's arms tightened around her. I'd be honored to meet Mr. Bunny. As Lily dozed off, Emma found herself really looking at Alexander for the first time since that awful day 5 years ago. The accident had changed him physically. The wheelchair, the subtle scars, the different way he carried himself. But his essence, the thing that had made her fall in love with him in the first place, remained unchanged. Tell me about the accident, she said softly. I only know what was in the news. Alexander's jaw tightened. Drunk driver, ran a red light, hit me head on. My car flipped 3 times. They said I was lucky to survive. I didn't feel lucky, he continued, his voice distant. Waking up unable to feel my legs, being told I'd never walk again. But the worst part was reaching for you and finding empty air. The nurses said you'd been there, that you'd waited through the surgery, but then you were gone. I'm so sorry, Emma whispered. I sat in that waiting room for 16 hours, praying to anyone who'd listen. When the doctor said you'd survive but would be paralyzed, I fell apart, and then your mother found me. Tell me exactly what she said. Alexander's voice had gone cold. Emma closed her eyes, remembering. She said you had a destiny bigger than both of us, that you'd need to focus entirely on recovery and rebuilding your life, that a baby would derail everything. She offered me money to disappear. Did you take it? No, Emma said firmly. I left because I thought it was right, not for money. I waited tables until I was too pregnant to stand all day, then got a job doing data entry. Eventually, I worked my way into marketing. It wasn't easy, but we managed. We could have managed together, Alexander said softly. Could we? Really? You were 24, suddenly paralyzed, facing years of therapy. Your entire life had just imploded. How could I add a baby to that? By letting me choose, he said simply. by trusting me to know what I could handle. Daddy? Lily stirred, rubbing her eyes. I'm sleepy. I know, sweetheart, Alexander said gently. How about we take you home? You're coming to our house? Lily perked up slightly. If that's okay with your mommy. Emma nodded, not trusting her voice. The thought of Alexander in their tiny apartment, seeing how they'd lived while he built his empire, made her stomach twist. But the hope in Lily's eyes and in his made the decision for her. The ride to their apartment was surreal. Alexander's modified SUV had plenty of room for his chair, and Lily chatted sleepily from her car seat about all the things she wanted to show him. And we have a park nearby with swings, and Mrs. Chen downstairs makes the best dumplings, and sometimes Mommy lets me help cook dinner. Emma caught Alexander's eyes in the rearview mirror, saw the hunger there as he absorbed every detail of the life he'd missed. Their building was a far cry from the Hartwell Hotel. 5 stories, no elevator, peeling paint in the stairwell. Emma's cheeks burned as she realized the implications. I'm sorry, she said quietly. I didn't think the stairs. I'll wait here, Alexander said simply. Bring me Mr. Bunny. But Lily was already problem-solving with 4-year-old determination. No, Daddy needs to see our house. She turned to Emma. Mommy, how can we get Daddy upstairs? Sweetheart, his chair can't. Then we'll carry him, Lily announced. Like when you carry me when I'm too tired. It doesn't work like that, baby, Emma said gently. It's okay, Alexander assured Lily. I can see your house another time. Tonight, why don't you bring Mr. Bunny down to meet me? Lily's face fell. But I wanted to show you my drawings and my books and where I brush my teeth all by myself. The heartbreak in her voice was mirrored in Alexander's eyes. Emma made a decision. There's a first-floor apartment, she said suddenly. Mrs. Chen's son just moved out. She mentioned it's available. Alexander's eyes sharpened. Emma, not for you, she said quickly. For us. If we're going to do this, really do this, then Lily needs a home where her father can visit. Visit? Lily's voice went small. Doesn't Daddy live with us now? The innocent question hung in the air. Emma saw Alexander struggle with how to answer. Sometimes, he said carefully, Mommies and Daddies live in different houses at first, but that doesn't mean I won't see you every day. Every day? Lily brightened. Promise? I promise, Alexander said solemnly. Wild horses couldn't keep me away. What about regular horses? Despite everything, he laughed, that rich, warm sound Emma had missed so desperately. Not even regular horses. As Emma carried a sleepy Lily upstairs, she felt the weight of the evening settling on her shoulders. In a few hours, everything had changed. The secret she'd guarded so carefully was out. Tomorrow, the media would descend. The life she'd built would be scrutinized, judged, torn apart. But watching Lily clutch Mr. Bunny as they headed back downstairs, seeing the joy on her daughter's face at having her daddy finally here, Emma knew she'd face whatever came next. Alexander was still waiting by the building entrance, his face lighting up when he saw them return. Daddy, this is Mr. Bunny. Lily presented the well-loved stuffed animal seriously. He's been taking care of me until you got here. Alexander accepted the bunny with equal seriousness. Thank you for taking care of my girl, Mr. Bunny. That's a very important job. He says you're welcome, Lily translated, and he wants to know if you'll come to tea parties. I would be honored to come to tea parties, Alexander assured her. As Lily yawned again, Emma made a decision. It's way past bedtime, sweetheart. Kiss Daddy goodnight. But I don't want him to go, Lily protested, even as her eyes drooped. I'll be back tomorrow, Alexander promised. First thing in the morning, we can have breakfast together. Pancakes. If you want pancakes, then pancakes it is. Lily threw her arms around his neck one more time. I love you, Daddy. I'm glad you're not far away anymore. Alexander's voice was thick when he responded. I love you too, sweetheart. More than all the stars in the sky. It was an echo of something Emma used to tell Lily, and their eyes met over their daughter's head. So many shared moments, even in absence. After Emma got Lily settled in bed, she returned to find Alexander still waiting outside. The night had grown cool, and she wrapped her arms around herself. "Thank you," he said simply, "for tonight, for letting me meet her." "She's your daughter," Emma said. "I should be thanking you for not calling lawyers and taking her away." "Is that what you think I'd do?" "You'd have every right." Alexander was quiet for a moment. "I won't lie and say I didn't think about it. For about 30 seconds, then I realized that would hurt Lily, and hurting her is the one thing I'll never do." "What happens now?" Emma asked. "Now? Now we figure out how to be parents together. I want to be in her life, Emma. Every day, like I promised. We'll need to work out custody arrangements, child support." "I don't want your money," Emma interrupted. "It's not about what you want. It's about what Lily deserves. She's my heir, Emma. The only family I have that matters." "Your parents lost any say in my life when they drove you away," Alexander said flatly. "They'll never meet her unless you decide otherwise." The protective fury in his voice made her throat tight. Even after everything, he was defending her. "I start therapy tomorrow," he said suddenly. "Therapy?" "Physical therapy. I stopped pushing myself after you left. Maintained what mobility I had, but didn't fight for more. But now," he looked up at the building, "now I have a reason to try harder. Maybe I'll never walk again. But maybe I can manage stairs. Maybe I can be the father who carries his daughter on his shoulders, even if I need crutches to do it." "Alexander, you don't have to—" "Yes, I do," he interrupted. "I've spent 5 years existing, Emma. Building an empire because I didn't know what else to do with the energy that used to go into loving you. But tonight, holding our daughter, hearing her call me Daddy, I want to live again, really live." If this story is touching your heart, please remember to subscribe and share your thoughts below. Sometimes love deserves a second chance. What do you think? "I never stopped loving you either," Emma admitted, the words rushing out. "Every date I went on, I compared them to you. Every man who showed interest I found lacking because they weren't you. Lily asked once why I didn't have a boyfriend like other mummies, and I couldn't tell her the truth, that her daddy had ruined me for anyone else." Alexander reached for her hand and she let him take it. "We can't go back, Emma. Too much has happened, but maybe we can go forward. As co-parents? As whatever we become," he said carefully. "I won't rush you, won't pressure you, but I won't pretend I don't still want everything we planned, the house, the family, the life together. Only now it includes ramps and a chair and a daughter who's already stolen my heart completely." "She has that effect on people," Emma said softly. "Like her mother," Alexander replied. They stood there in the cool Seattle night, hands linked, the weight of 5 years between them, but something new and fragile beginning to bloom. "I should go," Alexander said finally, "but I'll be back for breakfast. 7 too early?" "She's usually up by 6, Emma warned. "Fair warning. She's very energetic in the mornings." "I can't wait," he said, and meant it. As his driver helped him into the SUV, Alexander looked back at her. "Emma, thank you for keeping her safe, for raising her to be so wonderful, for giving her my name even when I wasn't there to claim her." "She was always yours," Emma said simply, "even when I was too scared to admit it." The next morning came with a whirlwind of activity. True to his word, Alexander arrived at 7 sharp, arms full of grocery bags. "What's all this?" Emma asked, still in her pajamas and robe. "Pancake supplies," he said, grinning. "Multiple flavors. I wasn't sure what she liked best." "Daddy!" Lily came running, Mr. Bunny clutched in one hand. "You came back!" "I told you I would," Alexander said, accepting her enthusiastic hug. "Ready to make the best pancakes ever?" What followed was controlled chaos. Their tiny kitchen wasn't designed for a wheelchair, but Alexander adapted with the same determination that had built his empire. Lily stood on a chair beside him, carefully stirring batter while he guided her hands. "Now we add the secret ingredient," he whispered conspiratorially. "What's the secret ingredient?" "Love," he said seriously. and maybe a little extra vanilla." Emma watched from the doorway, her heart full to bursting. This was what she'd dreamed of during those long, lonely nights. Not the wealth or the status, but this: Alexander and Lily making pancakes, flour in their hair, identical expressions of concentration. "Mommy, look!" Lily called. "Daddy's teaching me to flip them." "Carefully," Emma warned, but she was smiling. "Your mommy's right," Alexander said. "Safety first. But watch this." He demonstrated a perfect pancake flip, making Lily squeal with delight. "My turn!" With his hands guiding hers, Lily managed a slightly lopsided flip. The pancake folded a bit, but she beamed like she'd won an Olympic medal. "Perfect," Alexander declared. "The fold just makes more room for syrup." As they sat around the small table eating pancakes, chocolate chip for Lily, blueberry for Emma, plain for Alexander, Emma felt a shift in the universe, like pieces clicking into place after being scattered for too long. "These are the best pancakes ever," Lily announced, syrup on her chin. "Everything tastes better when you make it with people you love," Alexander said, his eyes finding Emma's. "Is that why Mommy's sandwiches taste so good?" Lily asked. "Because she loves me?" "Exactly," Alexander confirmed. "Love is the best seasoning." After breakfast, while Lily showed Alexander every toy and book she owned, Emma's phone started buzzing. The first message was from her boss. "Is that you in the society pages with Alexander Hartwell?" The news had broken. Emma pulled up the article with trembling fingers. There it was, a photo from last night, Lily in Alexander's arms, the headline screaming, "Billionaire's secret love child revealed at charity gala." "That was fast," Alexander said, reading over her shoulder. "I'm going to lose my job," Emma said quietly. "They'll say I've been lying, that I'm a gold digger who—" "No," Alexander said firmly. "They won't, because I'm going to make it clear that you never asked for anything, that I'm the one who lost 5 years with my daughter because of a misunderstanding." "You can't control the narrative." "Watch me," he said with quiet confidence. "Emma, I built a billion-dollar company from a hospital bed. I can certainly protect my family from gossip." Family. The word made her shiver. "Daddy, are you and Mommy married?" Lily asked suddenly, looking up from her coloring book. "No, sweetheart," Emma said carefully. "Sometimes people have babies without being married." "Oh?" Lily considered this. "But you love each other, right?" The innocent question hung in the air. Alexander and Emma looked at each other, 5 years of pain and longing passing between them. "Yes," Alexander said simply. "I love your mommy very much." "And Mommy loves Daddy," Lily said confidently. "She told Mr. Bunny when she thought I was sleeping." Emma's cheeks burned. "Lily, so why aren't you married?" Lily pressed with 4-year-old logic. "If you love each other and you have me, you should be married. That's what families do." "It's complicated, baby," Emma said. "Grown-ups always say that," Lily sighed dramatically. "But love is easy. You love someone or you don't." Alexander chuckled. "She's got a point." "Don't encourage her," Emma warned, but she was fighting a smile. The day passed in a blur of ordinary magic. Alexander cancelled all his meetings, spending hours on the floor with Lily, despite the difficulty of transferring from his chair. They built block towers, had a tea party with Mr. Bunny and several other stuffed animals, and read story after story. "Your daddy's going to lose his voice if you keep making him do all the character voices," Emma warned, as Lily handed Alexander yet another book. "Daddy doesn't mind," Lily said confidently. "Right, Daddy?" "Right," Alexander agreed, already opening the book, though the dragon voice is getting a bit rough. As afternoon faded to evening, Emma realized they'd need to talk about practical matters, but every time she tried to bring up custody or schedules, Lily would appear with another activity, another story, another reason for Daddy to stay. "Bath time," Emma finally announced. "Can Daddy help?" Lily asked hopefully. Emma glanced at Alexander, who shrugged. "If you're comfortable with it." And so Emma found herself watching Alexander navigate yet another challenge, helping Lily wash her hair while keeping himself balanced, making bath time an adventure with submarine toys and elaborate stories about underwater kingdoms. "You're good at this," Emma said softly. I've been practicing in my head for years, he admitted. Every time I'd see a father with his child, I'd memorize what they did, how they acted, preparing for a moment I wasn't sure would ever come. After bath time came pajamas, then the elaborate bedtime routine, teeth brushing, one more story, a glass of water, checking for monsters, arranging stuffed animals just right. "Daddy, will you be here when I wake up?" Lily asked as they tucked her in. "Not tomorrow morning," Alexander said gently, "but I'll come for breakfast again, and maybe if Mommy agrees, we can spend the whole weekend together." "Every weekend," Lily negotiated. "We'll see," Emma said, but her heart was already saying yes. As Lily finally drifted off to sleep, Emma and Alexander found themselves back in the living room, the apartment quiet except for the hum of the old refrigerator. "Thank you for today," Emma said, "for being so wonderful with her." "Thank you for letting me," Alexander replied. "I know you could have made this difficult, kept me at arm's length, limited my access. That would only hurt Lily," Emma said, "and she's what matters most." "What about what you want?" Alexander asked. "What do you need, Emma?" The question she'd been avoiding all day. What did she want? The safe answer was co-parenting, friendly but distant. The true answer, "I want to try again," she admitted, the words barely a whisper. "I want the life we should have had. But I'm terrified, Alexander. What if I hurt you again? What if you can't truly forgive me? What if we're happy?" he interrupted. "What if it works? What if our daughter gets to grow up with parents who love each other?" "Is it that simple?" "No," he said honestly. "It's not simple. We'll need therapy probably. Couples counseling to work through the hurt. Time to rebuild trust. But Emma, I've spent 5 years living half a life. This morning, making pancakes with you and Lily, I felt whole for the first time since you left." Emma felt tears sliding down her cheeks. "I don't deserve—" "Stop," Alexander said firmly. "Stop punishing yourself. We both made mistakes. You ran when you should have stayed. I let my mother interfere when I should have protected what we had. But we have a chance now. Are we really going to waste it because we're scared?" "What would it look like?" Emma asked. "Us trying again?" "Dating," Alexander said simply. "Getting to know each other again, family dinners and bedtime stories, therapy sessions and hard conversations, building something stronger than what we had before." "And if it doesn't work?" "Then we'll still be Lily's parents," he said. "We'll still be friends. But Emma, what if it does work? What if we get to be the family Lily already thinks we are?" Before Emma could respond, her phone rang. Her boss's name flashed on the screen. "I should take this," she said reluctantly. "Emma, I've been trying to reach you all day," her boss said without preamble. "Is it true? Is Alexander Hartwell really your daughter's father?" "Yes," Emma said simply, too tired to lie anymore. "Why didn't you ever say anything? Do you know how this looks? The media is having a field day. They're saying you've been hiding his child, that there might be legal action." "There won't be," Alexander said, having wheeled closer. "May I?" Emma handed him the phone, watching as he shifted into CEO mode. "This is Alexander Hartwell. To whom am I speaking?" His voice had taken on the authoritative tone she remembered from when they'd first met. "I see. Well, let me be very clear. Emma Chen has been exemplary in raising our daughter while I was unaware of her existence. Any negative speculation about her character will be met with swift legal action. Furthermore, if her position at your company is affected by this personal matter, I'll consider it discrimination and respond accordingly. Are we clear?" Emma could hear her boss stammering on the other end. "Excellent," Alexander continued. "I trust Emma will return to work Monday with no issues. Have a pleasant evening." He handed the phone back to Emma, who stared at him in amazement. "You didn't have to do that," she said. "Yes, I did," he replied. "No one threatens my family, not anymore." There it was again, family, the word that made everything feel possible and terrifying at once. "I should go," Alexander said reluctantly. "But I meant what I said about this weekend. If you're willing, I'd like to spend it with you both. We could go to the zoo or the aquarium, whatever Lily would enjoy." "She'd love that," Emma said. "She's been asking to see the penguins." "Then penguins it is." He paused at the door. "Emma, I know this is fast. I know we have a lot to work through, but I need you to know. I'm all in. Whatever it takes, however long it takes. I'm not giving up on us again." After he left, Emma sat in the quiet apartment, her mind racing. In 24 hours, everything had changed. The secret was out, Alexander was back, and Lily was over the moon about having her daddy. It should feel like disaster, but instead, it felt like coming home. Her phone buzzed with a text from Alexander. "Thank you for the best day I've had in 5 years. Kiss our girl goodnight for me. Can't wait for pancakes tomorrow." Our girl. Emma smiled through fresh tears, then typed back, "She's already planning to show you her penguin impression. Fair warning, it's very loud." "Can't wait," came the immediate response, followed by a heart emoji that made her own heart skip. The next few days fell into a pattern that felt both new and familiar. Alexander arrived each morning for breakfast, stayed as long as his schedule allowed, and returned in the evenings for dinner and bedtime. He and Emma danced around each other carefully, politely, while Lily blossomed under the attention of having both parents. "My daddy's teaching me to code," Lily announced proudly at preschool pickup on Thursday. "We made the computer draw flowers." "That's wonderful, sweetie," her teacher said, then pulled Emma aside. "She's been so happy this week. Whatever's changed, it's clearly good for her." What had changed was everything. The apartment that had felt too small now felt cozy with Alexander's presence. The walls were covered with Lily's drawings of their new family, 3 figures holding hands, sometimes with Mr. Bunny, always with big smiles. On Friday evening, as they finished dinner, Alexander cleared his throat. "I have something to ask you both." "What is it, Daddy?" Lily bounced in her seat. "How would you feel about me staying here this weekend? I could sleep on the couch and we could have a real family weekend, only if your mummy agrees, of course." Lily's eyes went wide with hope. "Can he, Mummy? Please? We could have pancakes for breakfast and watch movies and play games and—" "Breathe, baby," Emma laughed, but her eyes were on Alexander. Staying here in their space overnight, it was a big step. "I want to wake up where you are," Alexander said quietly. "Both of you. Even if it's on a lumpy couch in a tiny apartment, it'll be better than my empty penthouse." "Our couch is really lumpy," Emma warned, her heart racing. "I've slept in hospital beds for months," he reminded her. "I can handle a lumpy couch." "Please, Mummy." Lily deployed her most effective puppy dog eyes. "Okay," Emma agreed, and Lily cheered. "I'll need to go home and pack a bag," Alexander said, "but I'll be back before bedtime." When he returned, he brought not just a bag but an armload of groceries and a new stuffed penguin for Lily. "For practice before we see the real ones tomorrow," he explained, as Lily hugged the penguin tight. Bedtime that night took longer than usual, with Lily too excited to settle. She insisted on showing Daddy her penguin impression. It was indeed very loud, then needed extra stories and approximately 17 hugs. "She's stalling," Emma said as Lily called for another glass of water. "I don't mind," Alexander said. "I have 5 years of bedtimes to make up for." Finally, Lily fell asleep, one hand clutching Mr. Bunny and the other holding her new penguin. Emma and Alexander tiptoed out, closing the door softly behind them. "Thank you," Alexander said, as Emma handed him blankets for the couch, "for letting me stay, for all of this." "Alexander," Emma said suddenly, "the couch really is terrible. You could, my bed is big enough." "Just to sleep," she added quickly, blushing furiously. His eyes darkened with something that made her stomach flutter. "Emma, are you sure?" "We're adults," she said, trying to sound casual. "We can share a bed without— I just don't want you to be uncomfortable." "I haven't been comfortable in 5 years," he said softly. "Being here, with you and Lily. This is the first time I've felt right since you left." They got ready for bed with careful politeness, Emma in the bathroom while Alexander changed in the bedroom. When she emerged in her pajamas— why hadn't she bought nicer pajamas? He was already in bed, staying carefully to one side. "This is weird," Emma said, climbing in beside him. "The weirdest," he agreed. "But also— right," she finished. "It feels right." They lay in the darkness, carefully not touching, the space between them charged with history and possibility. "Tell me about when she was born," Alexander said quietly. "I know you told me before, but tell me everything." So Emma did. She told him about the pregnancy cravings, pickles and ice cream, such a cliché, about feeling Lily's first kicks, about the terror and joy of labor. She told him about Lily's first smile, first laugh, first word, bunny, not mama, much to Emma's mock dismay. "I'm sorry," she whispered when she finished. "I'm so sorry you missed it all." "I'm here now," Alexander said, his hand finding hers in the darkness. "That's what matters." They fell asleep holding hands, the years of separation finally beginning to heal. Emma woke to the sound of giggling and the smell of coffee. She found Alexander and Lily in the kitchen, both covered in flour, attempting to make breakfast. "Mommy!" Lily exclaimed. "We're making surprise pancakes." "I can see that," Emma said, taking in the disaster zone that was her kitchen. "What makes them surprise pancakes?" "The surprise is whether they'll be edible," Alexander said, with a self-deprecating grin. "Turns out, cooking from a wheelchair in a non-accessible kitchen is harder than I thought." "But we're doing it," Lily said proudly. "Daddy says obstacles are just puzzles to solve." Emma's heart melted. "Well then, let me help solve this puzzle." Together they salvaged breakfast, and soon they were heading to the aquarium. Lily vibrated with excitement the entire drive, peppering them with penguin facts she'd memorized. "Did you know penguins mate for life?" she announced. "They find one special penguin and stay together forever." Alexander caught Emma's eye in the rearview mirror. "Smart birds," he said softly. At the aquarium, they navigated the crowds together, Alexander's chair parting the sea of people. Lily insisted on riding on his lap part of the time, directing him like a tiny captain. "To the penguins!" she commanded, pointing dramatically. They spent an hour at the penguin exhibit, Lily pressed against the glass, watching the birds waddle and swim. Alexander lifted her higher when smaller kids crowded in front, his strength still impressive despite the chair. "Look, Daddy, that one's dancing," Lily giggled as a penguin waddled past. "Just like your impression," Alexander said, making her beam. As they moved through the exhibits, Emma noticed people recognizing Alexander. Phones came out. Whispers followed them. But Alexander seemed oblivious, his attention entirely on Lily's wonder at each new creature. "Mr. Hartwell," a woman approached hesitantly. "I'm sorry to interrupt, but I wanted to thank you. The adaptive technology your company developed helped my son after his accident. He's walking again because of you." Alexander's face softened. "I'm glad we could help. This is my daughter, Lily, and her mother, Emma." "She's beautiful," the woman said, smiling at Lily. "You have a lovely family." After she left, Lily looked up at Alexander. "You help people walk again?" "My company makes technology that helps people with disabilities," Alexander explained simply. "Special equipment that makes life easier." "Like your chair?" "Exactly like my chair." "Cool," Lily approved. "You're like a superhero." If you're enjoying this story of love and second chances, please hit that subscribe button and let me know in the comments. Have you ever gotten a second chance at love? The weekend passed in a blur of family activities. They went to the park, where Alexander pushed Lily on the swings until she squealed with joy. They had a picnic, even though the Seattle weather was chilly. They built blanket forts in the living room and had movie marathons. On Sunday evening, as they tucked Lily into bed, she looked up at them with serious eyes. "Are you staying forever now, Daddy?" Alexander glanced at Emma. "I have to go back to my house tonight, sweetheart, but I'll be back tomorrow." "Why can't you just live here?" Lily asked. "We have room. You can share with Mommy. You did last night, and nobody had bad dreams." Emma blushed, but Alexander squeezed her hand. "Sometimes grown-ups need to take things slow," he explained, "but I promise, I'm not going anywhere. You're stuck with me now." "Good," Lily said decisively. "Mr. Bunny likes having you here. He told me." After she fell asleep, Alexander and Emma stood in the hallway, neither wanting the weekend to end. "This was perfect," Emma said softly. "She's so happy." "What about you?" Alexander asked. "Are you happy?" "Yes," Emma admitted. "Happier than I've been in 5 years, but also terrified." "Of what?" "Of wanting this too much, of ruining it again, of—" Alexander silenced her with a gentle finger to her lips. "Emma, stop borrowing trouble. We're doing fine. Better than fine." "I know, but I love you," he said simply. "I loved you 5 years ago, I love you now, and I'll love you 5 years from now. That's not going to change." "How can you be so sure?" Emma whispered. "Because I spent 5 years without you and survived, but I don't want to just survive anymore. I want to live. With you. With Lily. As a family." "Alexander, I'm not proposing," he said quickly. "Not yet. We need time, I know that. But I need you to know where I stand, where I've always stood. You're it for me, Emma Chen. You and that little girl in there. My family. My everything." Emma kissed him then, pouring 5 years of longing and regret and hope into the connection. When they finally broke apart, both were breathless. "Stay," she whispered. "Not just tonight. Stay." "Emma, I know it's fast. I know we should take it slow, but Lily's right. You belong here, with us. Your penthouse is just a place to sleep. This is home." "My chair. The bathroom's not accessible, the kitchen's too small." "Then we'll find a better place," Emma said firmly. "Together, a place that works for all of us. But until then, stay, please." Alexander studied her face, then nodded slowly. "Okay, but we do this right. Couples counseling, real conversations about everything that happened. No more running from either of us." "No more running," Emma agreed. The next morning, Lily's shriek of joy when she found Alexander still there could probably be heard 3 blocks away. "You stayed. Daddy stayed." She launched herself at him, nearly knocking over his coffee. "I did," Alexander confirmed, catching her easily. "If that's okay with you." "It's the best," Lily declared. "Now we're a real family." "We were always a real family," Emma said, joining them at the table. "We just took the long way to get here." Over the next few weeks, they settled into a routine that felt both new and inevitable. Alexander officially moved in, bringing only what was necessary. They started couples counseling, working through the pain and misunderstandings of the past. Lily bloomed under the constant presence of both parents. "She's like a different child," her preschool teacher commented, "so confident and happy." The media attention eventually died down, helped by Alexander's strategic PR management and his lawyer's aggressive protection of their privacy. His parents reached out once, but Alexander held firm. They'd lost the right to be grandparents when they drove Emma away. One evening, as Emma watched Alexander help Lily with a puzzle, she realized the fear had finally faded. This was their life now, messy and complicated and perfect. "Mommy, come help," Lily called. "We can't find the corner piece." Emma joined them on the floor, the 3 of them working together. When they found the missing piece, Lily cheered. "We make a good team," she announced. "The best team," Alexander agreed, his eyes meeting Emma's. That night, after Lily was asleep, Alexander pulled Emma onto the couch beside him. "I have something for you," he said, producing a small velvet box. Emma's heart stopped. "Alexander, it's not what you think," he said quickly. "Open it." Inside was a simple silver necklace with 3 interlinked circles. "Past, present, and future," Alexander explained. "Or you, me, and Lily. However you want to see it." "It's perfect," Emma whispered, turning so he could fasten it around her neck. "I do have a ring," he admitted. "The same one from before, but I'm waiting until you're ready. Until you trust that I'm not going anywhere, that we're solid." "I trust you," Emma said. "I trust us. Then maybe." Alexander shifted, reaching into his pocket. "I've carried this with me every day for 5 years. Through surgeries, through therapy, through board meetings. It was my reminder that somewhere out there, you existed. That maybe someday." The ring was exactly as Emma remembered. A classic solitaire, simple and elegant. Not the massive rock his money could afford, but the one they'd chosen together at a tiny vintage shop back when they were young and broke and dizzyingly in love. "You kept it," she breathed. I kept everything, he admitted. Your old sweatshirt, the movie tickets from our first date, that terrible photo booth strip from the fair. I built a shrine to us, Emma. Probably unhealthy, but it kept me going. Alexander, marry me, he said simply. Not because of Lily, not because of what people think. Marry me because I love you, because you love me, because we're better together than apart, because I want to wake up every morning knowing you chose me, chose us forever. Emma looked at this man who'd conquered the business world from a wheelchair, who'd searched for her for years, who'd embraced their daughter without a moment's hesitation, who made pancakes and did voices for storybooks and turned their tiny apartment into a home just by being there. Yes, she whispered. Yes? Yes, she said louder, laughing through her tears. Yes, I'll marry you. Yes to forever. Yes to everything. Alexander's hands shook as he slipped the ring onto her finger. It fit perfectly, as if it had been waiting for this moment all along. Should we wake Lily? Emma asked, giddy with joy. Let her sleep, Alexander said, pulling Emma into his lap. We'll tell her in the morning. Right now, I just want to hold my fiancé. They stayed there on the couch, wrapped in each other, planning their future in whispers. A bigger apartment, maybe a house, more children if they were blessed, growing old together, watching Lily grow up, being the family they'd always meant to be. When morning came, Lily took one look at the ring on Emma's finger and squealed loud enough to wake the entire building. You're getting married. I knew it. I told Mr. Bunny last night that Daddy should marry you. Would you like to be our flower girl? Emma asked. Can Mr. Bunny be the ring bearer? Lily negotiated. Absolutely, Alexander agreed. It'll be the wedding of the century. Mr. Bunny, you, Mommy, and me. And maybe a baby brother, Lily added hopefully. Or a sister. I'm not picky. Emma and Alexander exchanged glances, both blushing. One thing at a time, sweetheart, Emma said. The wedding, held 6 months later, was small and perfect. Just family, Emma's parents, who'd flown in from California, a handful of close friends, and of course Lily and Mr. Bunny. Lily took her flower girl duties very seriously, practicing her walk for weeks. When the day came, she scattered petals with surgical precision, then loudly whispered, I did it perfect, Daddy, making everyone laugh. Alexander had worked with his physical therapist intensively, and when Emma walked down the aisle, he stood, supported by crutches but standing, to receive her. You didn't have to, she whispered, tears streaming down her face. I wanted to, he replied. I want to stand beside you every way I can. They exchanged vows they'd written themselves, promises that acknowledged their past while looking toward their future. When the officiant pronounced them husband and wife, Lily cheered the loudest. Finally, she announced, now can we have a baby? The reception was at their new house, fully accessible, with a big backyard for Lily to play in and enough bedrooms for the family they hoped to grow. As Emma and Alexander shared their first dance as husband and wife, Lily joined them, the three of them swaying together. I love our family, Lily said contentedly. Me too, baby, Emma said, her heart full to bursting. Me three, Alexander added, spinning them both gently. Later, as guests mingled and Lily showed off her flower girl dress to anyone who'd listen, Alexander pulled Emma aside. No regrets? He asked. Only one, Emma said, that it took us so long to get here. Maybe we needed the journey, Alexander suggested. Maybe we had to lose each other to really find each other. Very philosophical, Mr. Hartwell. I have my moments, Mrs. Hartwell. The name sent a thrill through her. Mrs. Hartwell. After all this time. Mommy! Daddy! Lily ran over, tugging on their hands. Come dance more. Everyone's waiting. They let their daughter lead them back to the dance floor, back to their guests, back to their life. The music swelled, laughter filled the air, and Emma realized that sometimes the best love stories aren't the ones that go smoothly. Sometimes they're the ones that survive separation, mistakes, and missed chances. Sometimes they're the ones where love refuses to give up, even when logic says it should. 5 years later, Emma stood in the doorway of Lily's room, watching Alexander help their daughter with her homework. Lily, now 9, was explaining something about fractions with great seriousness while Alexander nodded along. And see, Daddy, if you have 4 pieces of pizza and eat 3, you have 1/4 left. Unless your brother steals it, Alexander said, glancing at the toddler playing with blocks nearby. Theo doesn't steal, he shares, Lily defended her little brother. I'm teaching him. 2-year-old Theo looked up at his name, grinning with Alexander's smile and Emma's dimples. Share, he agreed, offering a block to his sister. Good job, buddy, Lily praised him. Emma's hand went to her stomach, where their 3rd child grew. Another surprise, another blessing. Their house was about to get even more chaotic and she couldn't wait. Mommy, Lily spotted her, tell Daddy that fractions are easy. Fractions are easy when you have a good teacher, Emma said diplomatically. I'm the best teacher, Lily agreed. When the new baby comes, I'll teach them everything, colors and numbers and how to pet Mr. Bunny gentle. Mr. Bunny, now more grey than brown from years of love, still held pride of place on Lily's bed. Some things, Emma reflected, were worth holding on to. After the kids were in bed, a process that now involved 2 stories, 3 glasses of water, and extensive negotiations about tomorrow's breakfast, Emma and Alexander sat on their back deck watching the stars. Did you ever imagine this? Emma asked. When we were young and stupid in love? Yes, Alexander said without hesitation. Maybe not the exact path, but this destination. Always. Even during those 5 years? Especially then, he admitted. Hope was all I had. Emma leaned into him, feeling the baby flutter inside her. I'm glad you didn't give up. I'm glad you came to that gala, Alexander countered, though I do wonder what would have happened if Lily hadn't recognized me. She would have found you eventually, Emma said confidently. You 2 were meant to be. All 3 of us were, Alexander corrected. 4, he amended, touching her belly. Soon to be 5. Our own basketball team, Emma joked. Don't tempt me, Alexander warned with a grin. They sat in comfortable silence, the night peaceful around them. Inside, their children slept safely. Tomorrow would bring its own challenges. Therapy appointments, work meetings, school projects, toddler tantrums. But tonight, they had this moment, this life they'd built from the ashes of their separation. I love you, Emma said, words she never tired of saying. I love you too, Alexander replied, pressing a kiss to her temple. Forever and always. And Mr. Bunny, she added, making him laugh. And Mr. Bunny, he agreed. Can't forget the bunny who started it all. As they headed inside, Emma paused to straighten a family photo on the wall, all of them at Lily's dance recital, Theo on Alexander's lap, everyone laughing at something off camera. It wasn't the family she'd imagined at 22, scared and alone. It was better, harder one, more precious for the journey. Coming to bed? Alexander asked, holding out his hand. Always, Emma said, taking it. Their love story hadn't been easy. It had been messy and painful and complicated, but it had also been real, enduring, and ultimately triumphant. Love had found a way, helped along by a determined little girl and a stuffed bunny. And in the end, that's all that mattered. They were home. They were family. They were forever. Thank you for joining us on this emotional journey of love, forgiveness, and second chances. If this story touched your heart, please remember to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Have you ever gotten a second chance at love? Sometimes the best relationships are the ones that survive the storms. Until next time, keep believing in love's power to heal, transform, and create miracles. Remember, it's never too late for your happily ever after.